So, with the NBA offseason steadily approaching fast, there's been many rumors that John Collins is probably going to get traded to the Spurs for Dejounte Murray. So, I'm excited to see that. Now that Dejounte Murray has been traded to the Atlanta Hawks, we can firmly say that the San Antonio Spurs have completely hit the reset button, with Greg Popovich slowly but surely out the door within the next year or so. It was only right that Dejounte Murray get traded, and the Atlanta Hawks have decided to take a step in the right direction that we've all seen coming since the end of the season. We all saw there were rumors that the San Antonio Spurs and the Atlanta Hawks have been in constant talks about acquiring John Collins for Dejounte Murray and some picks. But what we didn't see coming was the Atlanta Hawks winning this. Well, you could say winning, considering that there is 3 first-round picks in this trade. But for them, the Atlanta Hawks get rid of an expiring contract and an old veteran player in Danilo Gallinari, while also upgrading their backcourt with Trae Young, bringing in Dejounte Murray, who can be that secondary ball handler and their main source of defense on the perimeter. Because as we all know, Trae Young is a lackluster defender, but he has to stay on the court constantly for what he can bring on the offensive side of the ball. And last year, we've seen they have really struggled, and pretty much ever since Trae Young has been there, that they were all offense and no defense. But what we didn't see coming was that they were going to be able to get Dejounte Murray without giving up John Collins or any of their young players and just getting rid of a contract and 3 first-round picks. Now, what this goes to show you is the San Antonio Spurs have completely hit the reset button and are looking for the future, as these 3 first-round picks, I believe one is unprotected from the Charlotte Hornets or something like that, but there's 3 first-round picks in this, and you could say, because we all know the San Antonio Spurs is a decent team, but they don't really have anybody left or anybody on the roster that is of any significance that can want to take them over the top. So they're hitting the reset button, and it was only right that Dejounte Murray lands in a spot that he could be useful. Now, what does this say for the Atlanta Hawks? Well, it brings that extra level of defense and the extra scoring. So how does Dejounte Murray and Trae Young fit on the court? Well, we know one of the main reasons for Atlanta trading for Dejounte Murray is because of his defense. As previously stated, Trae Young is very lackluster on the defensive side of the ball, but he has to stay on the court for what he could bring on the offensive side of the ball. And even when he's on the offensive side of the ball, he's giving it his all, which essentially he gets tired. And Dejounte Murray being a secondary ball handler and as good of a ball handler and playmaker he is, that gives Trae Young a break. But considering that Dejounte Murray isn't the best when it comes to shooting the ball, that allows for other players to be drawn up for Trae Young. As we know, he's one of the best shooters in the league, shooting a career 35% from the three-point line, while Dejounte Murray is only shooting about 30% from the three-point line. And for the fact that Dejounte Murray is a very good playmaker, that allows for players to be drawn up for down screens or pin downs. As you know, when Trae Young catches the ball and he releases it, it's probably going to go in. It will allow for more of a variety of offense from the Atlanta Hawks that isn't just pick and roll with Clint Capella or pick and pop with John Collins. Speaking about John Collins, it amazes me that all it took for this trade to happen or go through was Danilo Gallinari, who is on an expiring contract, and 3 first-round picks, which are the 2023 Charlotte Hornets pick and both the Hawks picks for 2025 and 2027. Now, I doubt the Spurs will look to keep Danilo Gallinari, as he is older in age and doesn't fit the timeline of the Spurs, plus he makes a lot of money, which I'm not sure any team is open or looking to pick up right now. So I'm interested to see what becomes of that in the Spurs. But back to the Atlanta Hawks. We're coming off 2 very up and down different seasons with a first round exit and a conference final appearance where it looked like the Hawks were missing something. With the pickup of Murray, he could be that extra help the Hawks so desperately need. So what does the lineup for the Hawks look like? Well, there's Trae Young, Dejounte Murray, Kevin Huerter, John Collins, and Clint Capella. Sounds like it could work, but my only concern is with Dejounte Murray's lack of off-ball shooting. And I'm sure playing next to Trae Young, it will rub off on him. And with Dejounte Murray being under contract for another year or two, I'm sure Coach Nate McMillan will figure it out. Now, I'm not coming in here and saying that adding Dejounte Murray will push the Atlanta Hawks over the top to where they're contending for an NBA championship, but it sure does help allowing Trae Young to actually have some backcourt help in terms of playing defense and giving him a break offensive side of the ball, because as previously stated, like, he stays on the court literally 24/7 because of what he brings on the offensive side of the ball. But I'm predicting that this team is probably going to be a top 5 seeded team. As we've seen last year was pretty much a disappointment for the Atlanta Hawks fan base, as they were exited in the first round to the Miami Heat following conference finals in the year before, which showed that this team really was missing something because pretty much the whole offense of the Atlanta Hawks really is Trae Young, pick and roll, pick and pop, and hopefully he makes the right decision, which for the most part is going to work out, as Trae Young is one of the better pass fakes and passers in the league that we've seen like since he's been drafted. But allowing Dejounte Murray to come in here and continue to be that off-ball player, hopefully that can develop, because that really is my only concern, is how well he will play off-ball. But I'm sure figuring it out and playing next to Trae Young, they'll start to figure things out, and hopefully we see some more variety in the offense coming now that Dejounte Murray really is one of the better playmakers in the league, and the fact that he could play make and play defense, I think that brings a lot of value to this Atlanta Hawks team that the fans should be very excited for it. I know I'm excited to watch the team, because I'm a fan of Dejounte Murray and Trae Young. I want to see how this really works out. But with Dejounte Murray being under contract for another year or two, I think Atlanta Hawks fans can rest and say they're going to be good for a number of years to come. And I'm excited to see what happens next season. So do me a favor, as always, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm out of here.